One of the things we know, for those of us who have served in uniform, of those of us who know someone who serves in uniform, there is a moment in time when the seed is planted. And we heard this at the tragic funeral of Jack Fitzgibbon, when his dad stood up and said the moment his son, Jack, first thought about it was when he saw an army truck move around the electorate. That inspired him. And we know there's various seeds in our minds that made us think about it. But then when you turn that seed into action, there's a window where a young person, a young man or woman from all corners of this country, wants to put it into action. And they go on the website or they call 13-1901 and they're keen, they're ready to get started. And this is the moment in time when they want to give everything to that. And so when I hear that at the moment, the contractor who's supposed to process those applications has pushed them out to 300 days, that is a key factor for why we are short by 5,000 full-time members. And I want you to picture what 5,000 is. We've got a target of 64,000. 5,000 is roughly 1 in 12. So imagine a dozen Defence Force members and there's one missing. There's one missing in every dozen Defence Force members throughout this nation. 1 in a dozen. At a time when we hear both sides, and particularly the government, talk about the unprecedented strategic threat that we face, they are sitting there in charge 2 years in with 1 in a dozen missing. And yet what are their priorities? What are they doing about it? We saw in the budget an increase of public servants by 36,000. So on the one hand, we're short 5,000 for people who are prepared to do the most dangerous, serious work to keep us safe, and we have prioritised 36,000 public servants. And that's not a criticism of public servants, and many of those 36,000 are needed, including some in DVA, of course. No one's saying that. We won't accept that straw man argument. But it is unacceptable at this moment in time, in this moment in history, with this threat, to sit there and say that that level of recruiting is adequate. And so what are you doing about it? Well, we heard in the last few days some thought bubbles about expanding the pool of potential recruits. And there may be some merit to that. But again, minister after minister has left us feeling they are not across their brief. They didn't read the materials of that day. They didn't check with their friends and their colleagues who were in the relevant portfolios, and they didn't do the work. I don't know what ministers do in this government when they wake up every day, but I would have thought the first thing you do, read the papers, talk to your colleagues in the relevant areas, and then when you go on the media, be at least consistent, if for nothing else for political reasons. But this isn't just about politics, it's about national security. And can I say, as someone not born here, that the opportunity to serve in uniform as a migrant is one of the greatest honours that I had, and my way of giving back. And again, I meet young Australians who weren't born here, who have come from all corners of this earth, and they are desperate to serve. But when they make that call, click that website, and they're told to wait 300 days, guess what people of talent and action do? They go somewhere else. So we are losing people of talent and action who want to give to this nation at the moment in time of their life when it matters, and it's not happening. So in the last minute of my time, my questions are this. What has the government done to hold Adecco to account for not bringing the processing time from 300 days to 100 days? What are you doing? And my second question is this. What else are you doing about recruiting beyond a thought bubble? What else are you doing? This should be a full-court press by every minister, including the Minister for Defence Industry, the Minister for Veterans Affairs and the Minister himself. In fact, the Prime Minister should be asking for a daily brief about where is our recruiting strategy? What are you doing to fill the gap of 1 in 12? Because he shouldn't be going to sleep at night knowing that that exists right now. It's unacceptable.